Illegitimi non carborundum. I'm laying down on something like a chaise lounge, and an attendant sticks a needle into a vein in my arm. She's an experienced professional, and I hardly feel the needle going in at all. Once the needle is nestled in the vein, she tapes down the tube that is attached to the needle to my arm. I compliment her skill and thank her for making a gentle stick. She acknowledges me and moves on to the next person. Blood from my vein passes through the needle and tubing and into a machine that then extracts the plasma from the fluid. The machine will return the remaining components of my blood to me later, keeping the plasma for itself. This is a process known as plasmapheresis. This plasma that comes from my body will be put to beneficial purposes, such as life-saving medical treatments and other uses that will hopefully improve the well-being of others. That's all good and noble, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here for money. I get paid to sell my plasma. The company that operates this facility will not acknowledge the transactional process as the naked act of commerce it most assuredly is. They refer to it as plasma donation, and in exchange for my donation, they, presumably out of the kindness of their corporate heart, donate money to me. This is a facade of legal obfuscation to circumvent laws against the selling of bodily fluids. But make no mistake, this is purely calculated business by all parties involved. This is not a donation. A donation is an altruistic act, something you do with no expectation of any kind of reward or compensation other than perhaps feeling good about the act itself and the beneficial effect it may have on other people. This is not altruism. I am selling a portion of my body for financial gain. This is not something anyone does for fun. This is something that people do because they are desperate for cash, although we don't get paid in cash. No, it's credit that's loaded onto a pseudo-debit card. The issuer of the card is not a name you would recognize, and it's not as widely accepted as most debit cards. I undergo this process twice a week, and I can usually make $300 to $400 a month from it. I use the money to buy groceries, since that's a fairly predictable expense, and my regular store accepts the card that holds my funds. The entire plasmapheresis process is going to take about an hour. I'll just lay here and read a book or scroll through things on my phone. The facility does have free Wi-Fi, so that's something at least. Sometimes I look around the floor at the other donors, and I speculate about the circumstances of their lives that drove them to sell their plasma. The people in this room are not homeless or junkies. There are strict screening protocols to ensure that plasma is safely taken only from healthy folks. Some of my fellow donors are unemployed, but most of the ones I've talked to have jobs. They just do this to make a little more money to make ends meet. These are the poor. These are the people that you might hear rich folks on TV calling leeches because they need assistance covering basic expenses like housing, food, childcare, utility bills, or healthcare. Meanwhile, plasma is leached from their bodies. If this machine I'm tied to could suck pure life energy out of the poor and give it to the rich, then I have no doubt it would be used for that purpose. The extraction process completes. The machine switches modes and starts to return my plasmaless blood. I see a plastic bottle filled with all the plasma that was just taken from me, and I know exactly what that portion of my life is worth. I will have that credit on my card, and I will use that card to buy food, which will give me the nourishment to make more plasma, so that I can come back here and do it again. Somehow I don't think rich people spend multiple hours every week with a needle in their arm getting plasma sucked out of their bodies. This is a function that society needs, and it is fulfilled by the poor. Furthermore, Carthago, Delenda, Est